strength. I think he's been inconsistent. I think Shedeur has been mostly accurate on his good ones. When it leaves his hand, So they are very tradable, both Pickett and Flacco. Any other quarterback, they're way at the bottom end.
Senior reporter Zac Jackson has just declared Shedeur Sanders the best quarterback to emerge from the starting training sessions. According to Jackson, Sanders has been impressive from the get-go, showcasing a level of skill that sets him apart. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel has been struggling with inconsistency throughout the camp, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering what this means for his future. Zac Jackson also made an interesting point, saying that by Week 4, the Cleveland Browns will likely have to make a decision on their starting quarterback. With just 3 weeks left until the actual game's kickoff, the pressure is on. Jackson is vouching for Shedeur Sanders to be the guy under center, citing his consistency and poise in the early stages of camp. As the clock ticks down, will the Browns stick with their current options, or will Sanders continue to rise and claim that starting role? In a surprising turn, Browns' GM, Andrew Berry, weighed in on the possibility of trading one of their quarterbacks. While discussing the team's options moving forward, Berry mentioned that if an enticing offer comes in for any of the QBs, the team might consider moving one. However, he seemed to suggest that the trade could be more likely for one of the veterans on the roster rather than the promising young talent like Sanders.
He always jumps in the first. They do a run-through drill, and there's only enough guys for 3 units. So Pickett gets 2, and Dillon gets 2, Flacco gets 1, Shedeur gets 1. Okay. But, as far as them seeing, what I see.
Zac Jackson rejects the notion that Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders may be traded at any point. Jackson said that it's very doubtful that any club will be in a position to make a clear move for either Sanders or Gabriel this season, even if General Manager Andrew Berry left the door open for a trade. Jackson thinks it's far more probable that one of the veterans on the roster will be traded if Cleveland chooses to do so with one of its quarterbacks. The Browns could be able to take advantage of such offers for a better contract since their worth might be more obvious to other clubs. Although Jackson believes Sanders and Gabriel are definitely in the running for the time being, the future of the experienced quarterbacks may still be up in the air. Shedeur Sanders received good marks from Zac Jackson, who emphasized his throws, release, and general skill level. Jackson said that Sanders is now outperforming everyone else in the quarterback's room and displaying absolutely exceptional talent. There is one significant catch, though. Sanders hasn't been receiving the majority of first-team reps, despite his notable performance. Dillon Gabriel has been given sporadic opportunities with the first team instead, but the most of his appearances have been with the second and third team units.
Not just this week, but more the next couple of weeks, is can he earn some chances? Because when you're out there with XFL guys, undrafted rookies, it's going to be hard. And Dillon, based on where he was drafted and based on mini-campaign yesterday, is getting chances occasionally with the ones, but more with the two.
NFL Hall of Famer Louis Riddick has also chimed in, and his opinion carries a lot of weight. Riddick called Sanders the most talented quarterback on Cleveland's roster, stating that after watching him in his first training session with the team, it's clear Sanders has the potential to outshine everyone. Riddick, who's seen his fair share of football talent over the years, believes that if Sanders is given the same opportunities as the other quarterbacks on the roster, he could quickly emerge as the most impressive player on the entire team. However, Riddick wasn't all praise without caution. While he's confident that Shedeur Sanders is clearly ahead of the other quarterbacks in terms of raw talent, he also made it clear that Sanders' success in Cleveland isn't a done deal just yet. According to Riddick, it all comes down to one crucial factor: how many reps Sanders will get with the first-team offense. Even though Sanders is showing himself to be the most impressive quarterback on the roster, Riddick is concerned that the Browns may not give him the same opportunities as the other quarterbacks. If Cleveland doesn't allow Sanders to get more reps with the first team, his chances to fully prove himself could be limited despite his evident potential.
How many reps does he get in team? How many reps does he get in the games? How many 2-minute situations? How many of those situations that allow a coach to say, hey, look, I have a good feeling for what this guy can bring to the table, and therefore I'm comfortable putting him in? I would venture to say he's going to get very few.
When discussing the internal dynamics at work in the Browns organization, Louis Riddick didn't mince words. Despite Shedeur Sanders' evident skill, he made it plain that a major obstacle stands in his path: the situation's politics. Riddick noted that the organization could be more likely to prioritize the other quarterbacks, especially Dillon Gabriel, who is more seasoned in the scheme, because Sanders was selected later. According to Riddick, given his position and past performance, the Browns may still be more concerned with positioning Gabriel for success even if Sanders keeps demonstrating during practice that he is the most gifted quarterback. Kimberly added viewpoint on Shedeur Sanders' predicament while echoing Riddick's views. She agrees with Riddick that Sanders is the team's most gifted quarterback, but she also made it apparent that skill by itself won't guarantee him a starting position. Kimberly underlined that Sanders still has a lot to show in the training sessions, especially when facing off against Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel. She emphasized that Sanders must first fully comprehend the offense, demonstrating both his system knowledge and his innate talent. Shedeur's next few weeks will be crucial because he must show that he is prepared to lead the offense and outperform the other quarterbacks in a way that eliminates any doubt about his ability to be the starter.
Ceiling is high for Shedeur. I'm a big fan of his, but he has to come in and just grasp the offense before we even talk about what he can do for the Cleveland Browns and leading them to glory and all that. He hasn't even, there are 4 quarterbacks in that room.
NFL star Cinco made it clear that he doesn't believe Dillon Gabriel or Kenny Pickett have what it takes to be true starting quarterbacks in the NFL. They're just not at that level, Oo said bluntly, sparking a major debate. He didn't stop there. Oo went even further, declaring that even with a miracle, Kenny Pickett still wouldn't have the chance to prove himself as the long-term solution for any team. Oo, on the other hand, wasn't backing down on his belief in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is not the type to shy away from competition. Oo said confidently. Whenever he gets his chance, he's going to make a difference. Oo went on to emphasize Sanders' winning mentality, calling him a serial winner who has proven himself time and time again. The Browns better watch out because Shedeur is coming, and when he gets that shot, he's going to show everyone why he's the future. Oo declared.
To be based on what he can do when he touches the field. He's been a winner all his life, everywhere he's went. And that same attitude and discipline and the way of playing the game of football is going to carry over in Cleveland as well. And this is no disrespect to the other competitors.
Senior writer Zac Jackson and a number of other football analysts believe Shedeur Sanders is an outstanding talent, and the quarterback competition in Cleveland is getting more intense. Jackson has been outspoken in his support of Sanders, citing his remarkable skill set and calmness as the reason he was the greatest quarterback during the early training sessions. Jackson does, however, also draw attention to the crucial element that can decide Sanders' future with the organization: his dearth of first-team experience. Sanders has not yet been given the same opportunities as Dillon Gabriel, who has been playing with the first team more regularly, despite his talent. This restriction could make it more difficult for Sanders to establish his value. Jackson mentions dealing with one of the quarterbacks as well, but he thinks a trade for one of the team's veterans is more likely than for the young, talented quarterbacks, Sanders and Gabriel. He believes that other teams will value the veterans more, which could help Cleveland negotiate a better price. NFL analysts Louis Riddick and Kimberly further enhanced the discussion by echoing Jackson's conviction in Sanders' natural potential while cautioning that his success hinges on the possibilities presented to him. Riddick specifically draws attention to internal organizational politics that may favor veterans because of their long-standing positions within the system. NFL player who also expressed his opinion that Sanders is not the kind to back down from a fight, describing him as a successful individual who will change things if given the opportunity. Despite his apparent potential, Sanders must demonstrate in the upcoming weeks that he can comprehend the offense and surpass the other quarterbacks. Earn a starting spot. It's obvious that Sanders has unquestionable potential as the Browns approach a decision in Week 4. However, the way the organization manages his growth and competition will be what determines whether he starts as quarterback. Will the organization's politics and veterans influence the Browns' decision, or will they place a wager on their young talent? Time will only tell. What do you think, then? Are seasoned quarterbacks like Dillon Gabriel still the better choice for the starting position, or is Shedeur Sanders the Cleveland Browns' best chance for the future? Do you think Sanders will be given more first-team opportunities to establish himself, or will he be held back by internal politics and other players' experience? Do you believe that Sanders should be the Browns' starting quarterback given all the clamor and excitement surrounding him, or is it too soon to make that decision? Please share your opinions in the comments section. We would want to hear your thoughts on this, since it is becoming a significant plot point for Cleveland's season.